There is no end in sight for the rally in power. The price has already doubled today. This week we are up more than 5x. The question is, does it make sense to still jump on this rally? What's fueling all of this? Let's have a look at the on-chain data, the data most people are not considering. Here's the performance this week. Power did way better than any other altcoin in the top 100. Over the last month, we have seen an appreciation of 800%. We are now close to $2. The Power protocol is fueling a crypto game called Fableborn. And apparently there's quite a bit of adoption. There's 174,000 followers on Twitter. So that's for the game. And there is 30,000 followers for the Power protocol. So what's going on here? Why is the price rallying that much? We don't have the release of a new game. We don't have any new wave of adoption. Something else seems to be going on. When we look at the GitHub repository, so the place where developers apply code changes, we have not seen a single update in the last 3 to 4 months. Let's have a look at the on-chain data. So we've got two types of the token. We've got one token on the Ethereum chain that has only 880 holders. We've got another Binance Smart Chain based token that has a bit under 2,000 holders. So some things don't seem to add up here, right? We've got close to 200,000 followers on Twitter, yet when we look at the on-chain data, there's only 3,000 holders. So really, what's going on here? What's pushing up the price that much? It's in the end a top 100 cryptocurrency. Let's have a look at the data on Ethereum. So on the left side, we see the number of new users versus returning users. So that's now traders of the Ethereum-based token. Yes, clearly quite a bit of a rise. There is adoption. Here is the number of buyers and sellers over time. Yesterday was the peak with more than 1,000 traders. But then check this out. This is now the number of holders on the Ethereum chain with at least 500 tokens, that's on the left, 5,000 tokens, that's in the middle, and 50,000 tokens, that's on the right. Now a token is roughly $2 right now, so that's worth $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. There are only a bit over 100 wallets with $1,000 worth of the token. And that's not even going up in the last days. So it seems like there's no new purchasers of the token on Ethereum, yet the price is going insane. Here's the same data for the Binance Smart Chain, same development, not necessarily a lot of demand. Interestingly enough, the token ownership is not very distributed. There are a few whale wallets that hold the majority of the supply. 3 wallets hold more than half of the supply. 5 wallets hold more than 3/4 of the supply. Have a look at the top 11 wallets that hold the token. It's all smart contract wallets. They got their allocation at the very beginning and now we see outflows. We see this for pretty much any of the major wallets. Some inflows at the beginning and now net outflows most of the time. Power is an example how the bets on a price become a more and more important part of crypto. We had the on-chain trading, right? The trading of direct token ownership. Now it's not necessarily only on-chain data that matters. It's really the bets. It's how much are people leveraging a certain token. Check this out. In the last 24 hours, we saw 12 million worth of trading volume on the spot market on Uniswap. But compare this with the perpetual futures market. Here we had close to 2 billion worth of trading volume. 12 million versus 2,000 million. That's the ratio that we are looking at. Really, the perpetual futures make the price here. And even AI is agreeing with that assessment. Power protocol is up more than 100% in the last 24 hours, fueled by unsustainable funding rates and restricted arbitrage. Now, why is there so much speculation on Power? One reason is tokenomics. There's more and more tokens that hit the market over time. And so the vast majority of retail investors believe that the price will go down long term. But interestingly enough, the price did not go down, right? It did the exact opposite. So why is that? Let's have a look at the perpetual futures. Here is the trading volume on the perpetual futures. And as we said, there's now close to 2 billion of trading volume on a single exchange. When we add up all of those exchanges, we are now at 2.6 billion of trading volume. The funding rate is extremely negative. And what that means is that the shorts have to pay the longs in order to bet on falling prices. So it costs money to bet on the deflation of the price. If you are bullish on power, instead of buying the token directly on the spot market, probably buying it on the perpetual futures market makes more sense, because then you also get the funding rates by the shorts. And that's massive. It's up to 2% every 8 hours, 2% extra. The open interest has skyrocketed. So that's now the amounts of bets on the power price. And there is correlation between the amounts of bets on the price and the spot price itself. So when there's more speculation around a price, we tend to also see open interest high, we tend to see the price high. As speculation moves to the next asset and open interest comes down, the spot price tends to go down with it. With this rally, we have seen a lot of short liquidations. Many people were betting on a deflation of the power price, which did not happen. The opposite happened. The price continued to rally. And why did it rally? It rallied because there was a short squeeze. So when enough people are betting on falling prices, the market makers have an incentive to push up the price. So on the one side, there's the retail investor that's currently betting on falling prices. On the other side, there is the market maker that instantly, when the short position is opened, opens the counter position, opens the long position. So the market makers are long, the retail investors are short. Now, the retail investors tend to have less capital than the market makers. So the market makers with their long position, they now go to the spot market, the very illiquid spot market, and they buy up the power token. It's very easy to move the power price because a lot of the supply is simply just locked up in a few wallets. We have looked at the on-chain metrics. So with a few dollars, we can impact the power price, we can push it up. If enough people are betting on falling prices, and we see this with the funding rates, right? They're very much negative. Then the market makers just buy the supply, squeeze out all of the shorts get liquidated, the longs go up further, they make more money. So fundamentally, you can think about this like a betting game. So let's say you bet on a soccer match and you bet that team A will win, not team B. And then the market maker sees this and they buy a lot of bets on team B in order to keep the odds somewhat stable, right? That in the end, it's not, say, a 9-1 odd for team A winning. So they simply take the counter position to make the market look a bit more fair, to make it look a bit more balanced. But now the market maker has all of those bets on team B, not on team A. And so what now the market maker can do is they can pay the referee. They can have an impact whether team A or team B wins. By bribing the referee, by having an impact on the outcome of the game, they are always the winners. And so this is what's going on here with crypto, right? The market makers are betting on the rising price, retail is betting on the falling price, and now they are bribing the referee. They have an impact on the outcome of the game by simply buying up the power token, by pushing up the power token. It is true, at some point this will come back down. The issue is that the market cap is only at around 400 million. And very easily those short squeezes can go all the way up to 4 billion potentially. Between 2 to 6 billion, those squeezes tend to turn around. That's when it becomes too expensive to bribe the referee. But there's still a lot of risk in betting on falling prices of power right now. At some point, this will turn around. Don't get me wrong. But will this be tomorrow? Will this be the day after tomorrow? When will the short squeeze deflate again? It's very hard to say. It very much depends on how many new retail investors come in and try their luck betting on falling prices. At some point, there will be a deflation. If you plan to bet against the professionals here, then make sure you've got proper risk management in place, right? When you bet on falling prices, have a stop loss to potentially re-enter if you see another short squeeze. Or alternatively, just put a lot of collateral on the line that you will definitely not get forced liquidated. But again, right, the market cap is still large enough that the price could easily reach $2, $6, $8. That's very much possible. We all want to avoid pain. We all don't want to look at a portfolio that looks like this. This is the listed tokens on Binance. And I'm seeing those comments and I'm getting those messages every now and then, right? Why have I been too greedy? Why didn't I sell at the top? Why did I hold all of those altcoins? And now there is a 60, 70, 80% loss. I hear you. Many people have been starting this way. Many people have been going through a bear market, have not taken profit early enough, now cannot recover anymore from the loss. It appears as if research doesn't even matter. You read the white paper of Ripple XRP. You read the white paper of Solana. You are doing your research for the TON network. A lot of technical mumbo jumbo. And yet it seems like it doesn't matter. Everything is down at the same time. And Bitcoin dominance goes up. Bitcoin as a fraction of all of crypto increases. Why do all of that research when it's just all about Bitcoin? Bitcoin gets purchased through the ETFs. Bitcoin also gets purchased through the treasury companies. So Bitcoin can outperform the rest because all of those smaller altcoins do not have those tailwinds, do not have this constant demand. What we see over here, that's the altcoin market relative to Bitcoin. So the technical term is total 3ES relative to Bitcoin. This goes up in very short periods. This year is an altcoin season, 400% outperformance versus Bitcoin. When does that happen? It tends to happen after Bitcoin has already rallied quite a bit. We have seen a 7-8x outperformance of Bitcoin and subsequently the altcoins outperformed. So the altcoins are just another lever to expose a portfolio to more risk. And that's the issue, right? We do not want to hold altcoins in any other scenario. If we have crashed in Bitcoin, if we have crashed in everything else, and then we come out of the bear market and we've already had our multiple X returns on Bitcoin from the bear market bottom, at that point, it might make sense to buy the altcoins. Before that, I think it's very likely the altcoins will continue to underperform. I very much think that we will continue to see this long-term trend prevailing. 2026 will not be a great year for the altcoins. If the bottom at the beginning of 2021 is any indication, the altcoins could potentially underperform Bitcoin by another 40%. Now, we've been betting on that trend for quite a while. This here is the premium capital pool. So we are betting on falling altcoin prices at the same time, rising prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana. And while Bitcoin in 2025, during that trading period, it was only 5 months roughly, fell quite a bit by 25%, that trading capital pool appreciated. Here are the numbers in more detail. Feel free to stop this video to have a look. But the average premium member after cost made 12% over the course of 5 months annualized. That's 40%. $2,400 profit on average. And so I'm sharing my trades. What kind of altcoins are the worst? And I bet on falling prices. For example, this year, right? This is just recently a Gala short. Gala subsequently crashed. And when we bet on falling prices of a token, we can make money from this market structure. So we simply just invert this chart. Everything that's red becomes green. Everything that's green becomes red. Have a look at this. This is Bitcoin's price development relative to Gala. So this is now simulating. If we bet on rising Bitcoin prices and on falling Gala prices, that's a kind of performance we can get. So instead of trying to figure the 1 or 2 or 3 altcoins that still might make money during a bear market like this, why don't we just bet on the general trend? Some altcoins are simply so bad, just makes sense to bet on their collapse. And it's actually not just some altcoins, it's pretty much most of them. The odds are in our favor betting on falling altcoin prices. And I do not think that this will change anytime soon, because again, altcoin season only tends to happen after Bitcoin has already rallied. The reason for all of that underperformance is token dilution. It's new tokens hitting the market every single week. On average, the altcoin market has additional selling pressure of $1 billion per week. And there's no demand for those altcoins, right? There's no net purchases of 1 billion every week. And that's why the altcoins do that poorly. It's simply the insiders, the early investors that dump on the retail investors. That's why the performance is so poor. So if you're interested in getting my trades, or if you're even interested in joining the automated copy trading, so this is where all of my trades get directly mirrored, then feel free to check out the premium membership. It's currently $125 per month. Or if you want to enter the automated copy trading, you need to get on the yearly plan, which also saves $250. But again, I do think this is money well invested. I try to make more returns for the average member than what the product costs. So in other words, it's not about the price, it's about the gap between value and price. And if the value is high enough, then I think the price is justified. So feel free to check it out. If you're not satisfied, there's also a 100% money back guarantee for the first week. So just message me within the first week and I will send the money back. Really, there is no risk for you. Thanks again for watching. If it's your very first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you on Premium. Cheers.